Hello, my friends. I am so happy to see you. That this hair is a little unfortunate, but the smile is real. So this week we are going to be talking about prefixes. And in order to understand what a prefix is, you have to understand some other big words too, like suffix and affix and root word. But that's okay because we're going to be on this skill a while, and I'm going to help you understand by using some examples. Okay, so a prefix is basically a part. They both start with P. Prefix, part. But those parts hook onto something. That's where root words and base words come in. So a root word and a base word are basically the same thing. Root words and base words are the very most basic part of a word. If you add an affix to a root word or a base word, then you can actually change the meaning of that word. So let's do an example. Let's take the word cook. What word? Cook. That's right. And we are going to let that be our base word. Cook is a base word. This means it's the very most basic part of the word. Now we're going to add an affix to it. So what are affixes? Well, affixes are word parts that change the meaning of that root word. What did we say our root word was again? Oh yeah, that's right, cook. So prefixes and suffixes are both parts that you can add to a base word, and we call these parts affixes. So let's look at the word cook. I can add un to it. Un is a prefix. Now the meaning of the word has changed from cook to uncooked. I wouldn't want to eat an uncooked steak. But look what I did. I added a prefix to the beginning of cook. That made it uncook. Then I added a suffix to the end, ed. Now I'm talking about it in the past tense. I changed the base word cook to uncooked by using affixes. Remember, an affix is a prefix and a suffix, and those are all word parts. An affix is a prefix and it's a suffix, and those are all word parts. That's right. So we can add prefixes to the beginning of a word or suffixes to the end of a root word, and we can change the meaning of the word. Let's look at some more examples. So prefixes are word parts, still affixes, that come at the beginning of the root word or the base word. So when we're looking at uncooked, un is a prefix. It comes at the beginning of the word cook. And when we add un to the word cook, we change the meaning of the word cook. Suffixes are word parts too. They are also affixes. And they come at the end of the root word or the base word. So take a look. Uncooked. There's my base word cook right in the middle. It's a word all on its own. Un is not a word by itself, and ed is not a word by itself. When I add a prefix, un, or a suffix, ed, to the beginning of a base word or the end of a base word, I'm changing the meaning of that word. So here are some common prefixes. Im. The meaning of im is not. And here's some examples. Impossible, like this is impossible to fix. Impolite. Ooh, that bully is not being very polite, which makes Miss Morris upset. In impossible, what is the base word? What's the word that you see inside of impossible? That's a word all on its own. I hope you said possible. So possible is the base word, so what's the prefix? M. When I added M to possible, now it means not possible. Ooh, look at impolite. Look at that bully. What is the base word of impolite? I hope you said polite. And what's the prefix that I added? M, that's right. When I added M to the word polite, I now made it say impolite, which means not polite. Prefixes can help us figure out the meaning of words. So we can figure out the definition. Okay, let's look at another one. What about the prefix in? What could it mean if I added this to a word? Well, it's going to mean not. And here's some examples. Invisible, infamous. Ooh, let's look at these. Invisible. What's the base word? Visible. But when I add in, now it means not visible. Invisible. Infamous. Infamous. What might that mean? Well, that might mean that you are not famous in the positive way. Look at this list of infamous characters. I see the Wicked Queen from Snow White, Jafar from Aladdin. Wow, I see Ursula from The Little Mermaid and Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. These characters are infamous, not famous in the positive way. Let's look at another prefix. Non. Non means not. When I add non to a root word, it's going to change to its opposite form. Non-stop. If you're on a non-stop flight, this means that flight is not stopping till it gets to its destination. Non-stick. Non-stick pans mean that when you cook food on them, they're not going to stick. I love a good non-stick pan. That's my jam. All right, let's look at this one. Dis. Dis means not as well. Wow, there's lots of prefixes that mean not. Disorganized. This would mean that you were what? Not organized. Oh my goodness. Disobey. Ooh, let's unpack this one a little bit. What is the base word in disobey? What word do you see in there? I see the word obey. I like when students obey. But when I added dis to it, it means that these students are not obeying. They're disobeying. That's why they're in the principal. Wah, wah, wah. Going to the principal's office is not fun when we're disobeying. It's only fun when we're visiting. Okay, what about miss? Miss means wrong. Here's some examples. If you misread something, then you read it wrong. And if you misspell something, you spell it wrong. I can spell good. Well, you didn't today. That's not how you spell those words. You misspelled them, which means you spelled them wrong. Okay, what about un? This one is very popular. It means not. When I put un in front of a base word, it's going to mean not that. For example, look at the man. He is about to fall. This is unlucky. Base word, lucky. When I add the prefix un, not lucky, unlucky. Unbelievable. There's a guy holding on to the ceiling. This is unbelievable, not believable. Maybe he has superpower. What about over? This means too much. Here's some examples. Overcook. They've cooked that turkey too much. Overdramatic. Oh, some of us are a little overdramatic. This means too much drama. Maybe if you react to something and you do a really big reaction, someone might say, you're being a little over dramatic. Miss Morris sometimes gets told that she's over dramatic. Okay, under. When we add under to something, it means beneath or under. And here's some examples of that. Underwear. Oh my gosh, we're talking about it at school. Underwear is clothing that you wear under or beneath your regular clothing. So the root word is wear, and then you add under to it, and it's going to be beneath your clothing. Underwater. This is going to mean under or beneath the water. So look, notice that he has on his oxygen tank. The base word is water, and when I add under to it, underwater means beneath the water. Okay, last one, to do again. Here's some examples of that. Recycle. If you recycle something, you are using it again. You have to recount something. This means you were counting and you were asked to do it again, to recount. Boys and girls, remember, prefixes are parts of a word. They have to hook onto a base word, but when they do, they change the meaning of that word. You are going to learn so many things this week. If you see me, I want you to think of a word with a prefix in front of it and use it when you see me. And then I'll know you've watched this lesson. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, I love you, I love you. Bye, bye, bye. Where did I go? I am a ghost. How do we stop this record?